Matthew 23 and from verse 37, where Jesus says, "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, who kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to her. How often I wanted to gather your children together, the way a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were unwilling." You've got the consistent association of a bird with its wings out protecting its people, or a king representing the people, as something that's consistently associated with deity in the ancient Near East. Mm-hmm. And that's not just a pagan thing. That's part of the Old Testament and the faithful kings of Israel as well. Mm. And I gave some examples. I think I gave these during the debate. They're not just my more detailed notes, such as Deuteronomy 32 and verse 11. "As an eagle stirs up its nest and hovers over its young, he spread his wings, he caught them, he carried them on his pinions. The Lord alone guided him, and there was no foreign god with him." Mm. And I've got 4 other references for that. I won't take too much time reading them there. But I also mentioned that this appears in ancient Near Eastern artwork. Mm-hmm. And that includes clay bullers, which are pieces of clay with the impression of a seal on them. So it's not quite like a signet ring, but similar in principle. Mm-hmm. And one of them has actually been discovered with a symbol of a sun disk representing Yahweh on it. And the inscription on it belonging to Hezekiah, son of Ahaz, king of Judah. And there are other bullers that show the same thing, belong to different kings. You know, you've got the consistent language in the Old Testament of God as a protective bird hovering over his people and protecting them. And, you know, you've got Jesus saying he loved to do this for his people, but the leaders were unwilling.
I think this is, him relaying warning, right, from the Father, and using the language that the Father is using to remind them that this is what the Father actually wanted for you. You know, like, you've killed the prophets, but yet the Father was willing to do these things for you and, you know, protect you, but you are not yet willing. So this is like and you can see this is like sort of a cry out, even in the language, right? He's calling out, "Jerusalem, Jerusalem." So he's appealing to them. And what I've noticed is when Jesus is using language that the Father uses, it is him relaying and reminding what telling the Jews, this is what the Father has promised you. You know, like, remember this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the first thing that anyone would notice when thinking about a response like that would be the fact that Jesus consistently uses the word "I" in these contexts.
Of course.
Apparently referring to himself, which would be the view that I would take.
I would say yes. And if you had to look at it from, superficially, if you had a superficial reading of the text, yes, that is how you would conclude it.